Hey, this is Steve Halleck with TikToking, and as always, you can follow me at Steve Halleck on Instagram and check out my website, TikToking.com. Here today with another video review for you guys. So today I've got a very crazy watch, really cool. This is the Urwerk EMC in black. Now the EMC is kind of different from every other Urwerk, right? Normally, Urwerk is famous for their weird time-telling mechanisms, usually some sort of satellite that travels across a path. And this one has just a traditional hours, minutes, and seconds here. So you may say, well, how is this an Urwerk? Like, what's going on here? Well, this watch has something else crazy, and that is that it has a built-in timing mechanism, which is actually an electronic machine. And so, why, right? What's going on here? What's the reason for this? That's something I've tried to wrap my head around. I wasn't totally sold on the watch when they came out with it at first. I was kind of confused, like, what are they doing? This isn't Urwerk. Now that I've had this, I've been wearing it almost every day for the last little bit, and I'm really digging it, and it actually really makes sense to me. So you got to remember that Felix Baumgartner, the founder of Urwerk, is an AHCI watchmaker. And that's pretty rare, actually, amongst these crazier independent brands. Normally, the guy who starts it or the guy at the head is not a watchmaker at all, let alone one of the technical prowess as Felix. So it makes sense that he would have some concern with how to make a more accurate watch, or what do we do about this problem of time telling in a mechanical watch, right? And this, I think, is the Urwerk answer to it. So you've got other brands sometimes can use a tourbillon or a resonance mechanism or constant force or all of these other things. And this is how Urwerk has chosen to tackle the problem of rate keeping and accuracy in the watch. And I think it could be a little bit gimmicky if it were not done well, but it's executed so well in this watch that it actually is just super cool. And so let's actually get into it. We may as well start here with the movement. This is the only Urwerk with a display back. So you can actually see the movement. There's a kind of traditionally very nicely finished manual wind movement under there. And then you see it starts to get wild. So the regulating mechanisms here, that's connected to this arm that goes to this screw, which I'll talk about later. And over here, you've actually got a whole circuit board, which is where this timekeeping mechanism is located. Now, in order to keep this a traditional manual wind watch, however, and mechanical watch, they didn't want to use a battery. That would be the easy thing, let's have a battery. But then you're talking like, well, is this a quartz watch? Is it a manual watch? Like, what is this thing? So they've done something else. But before we get to it, let's just go over the basic functions. Down here, you've got your hours and minutes. Up here, you've got a seconds hand. This is a hacking seconds hand, which means when you pull out the crown, it stops, so you can set it perfectly. Again, totally makes sense when the whole purpose of this watch is chronometric precision, right? Here you've got a power reserve for your manual wind movement. So winds here with this crown. It's actually one of the nicest winding Urwerks that I've had. Feels really good, the crown feels great. And it's got this really cool little function where this tab, you press it and the crown pops out to set the time. So if I want to set the time, I press there, maybe you could hear the pop, and that pulls out the crown, and then you can set it forwards, backwards, and you see the second hand hacks. Then we push it back in, and we're going. All right, now let's get into the craziness here. So this dial is where the magic happens. This is your timekeeper. So what happens is, first you need to generate electricity because there's no battery here, right? So for that, you've got this wild crank. And again, the crank could be weird, but it's so well executed and goes so well with the case of the watch, and it's machined really nicely. I mean, you can see this tiny little knurled handle here that turns, so you can turn it really easily. And it actually comes off just super cool instead of kind of stupid, right? So let's wind it up. We give it a go here. Urwerk says about 50 turns. Doesn't have to be too fast. Too slow obviously won't work. So kind of a normal go. All right, now this clicks into this thing there, and the whole thing just clicks against the side of the case. Nice, satisfying click in. It's not going to fly out or anything like that. So now Urwerk says they want you to put it on a flat surface for 20 seconds. That just lets everything chill out. The power's there, it's going. So what's going to happen is this right here, it's pretty well hidden, but this is a little button. When I press it, this hand is going to go to that green marker, and that tells me that it's timing it. So it times the manual movement and compares it against its reference source. And then the hand will move to show us where we are at plus or minus, right? So let's do it. So now it's timing. And there it goes. Boom. We're almost dead on, just a hair under 0. So we're doing really well. But let's say we're a little bit off. Now, it wouldn't do you any good to just know that your watch was not keeping good time, right? So what they've done is it's actually user adjustable. This little screw here, again, has this arm that goes to the balance here, and you can actually adjust the rate of the watch. It comes with a little screwdriver, but a normal screwdriver will work, right? And by turning this just a little bit in each direction, you can change the rate here, and you can make your watch perfect. So that's how I've got this dead on accurate right now. Is I actually timed it and I changed the rate and I got it totally perfect. So you can do it, and let's say it was minus 11 seconds or something. You do it, you make it a little bit faster, you time it again, you get it on 0, and you're good to go. So it really actually works, and it's actually super cool. And the fact that you're able to have this crank and stuff like that and have it work with the case and work with the design and everything is just so well done that you kind of have to love it, right? It's not like that, you know, there's that Longa 31-day movement thing where in order to wind the watch, you have like a whole separate piece to do it. That's totally stupid. This is like all in one thing. It's all ready to go. It's totally unique. It's incredibly well done. The fit and finish is amazing. Having the display back is super cool on an Urwerk. You can see all these really cool angles on the case. It reminds me of like a sort of like Demolition Man or like Terminator in the future, or any of these like futuristic kind of post-apocalyptic almost cops or army or machines. Very, very futuristic machine-like. So let me show you on the wrist. Pretty big watch, but you can see there's no lugs really. The strap just goes into the case. So it actually wears quite well. This is always the fun part where you guys get to watch me strap on a buckle. It's got a pretty cool buckle, this nice big black chunky buckle. And I really like this strap. It comes also on a Croc strap, but I think this, I think they call it Balmora strap, is really nice. It's nylon with a leather backing. So here it is on the wrist. You can see my wrist is only a little bit short of 7 inches, and it actually works really well. It fits pretty perfectly. You can see on my Instagram I took a wrist shot from the outside of this, so you can see what it actually looks like, kind of on a person from the outside. But this is it. You can see it doesn't hang over either side. It's tall, but it's not too insane. It just looks really cool on the wrist. And so I give this one like 2 total thumbs up. Urwerk has won me over. I was skeptical at first, but I really think this is pretty sweet. And it actually does do something. Like it actually helps the watch, right? So we so often see these crazy solutions that really don't achieve anything. This one really is practical and it does something. And I think you kind of have to tip your hat to them on that one. So this is the Urwerk EMC in black, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks.